Right then, welcome back everybody to Counter-Strike Global Offensive World Championship 2016. My name is Tom Green. 4 days, 8 countries, all playing for their homeboys with a potential pot of $100,000 to be won. This is match 2, match 1, exactly what I wanted really, an upset as Sweden took on Denmark, Sweden winning it, but now other business as Argentina take on Tunisia. Very, very exciting match. And joining me in the studio again is Risk and Dushan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, should we start off by talking Argentina?
Yeah.
What are we thinking for these boys?
They upset Brazil. The big thing here to note, like they won against maybe the favorite team coming out of South American qualifiers. Overall, they're a good team. Everyone has its role. They have a couple of standout players, and I think they have a good chance here.
And Risk, how long have these boys been playing together for?
Yeah, actually, some of these boys, this is a story that I heard going over here and talking about it in the green room, is that these boys have actually taken time off their original teams and are practicing together with this national team for 6 weeks or something like this.
Wow.
If you talk to a team like Denmark or Sweden, they have practiced a weekend. This team has been practicing for a long time, and these Argentinian players are someone that I'm really looking forward to watching because I heard a lot about them. I talked to their manager in the cab over here. He said that, yeah, some of these players have been boot camping in Sao Paulo for 6 months, stuff like that. Really investing a lot of their time and effort into getting to be better Counter-Strike players. And as you mentioned, with the qualification to go here, this really means a lot to them and getting to show themselves on this international stage.
That's
I think, yeah, I think the entire month of September was just for this event. 2 players, I think they lost the team or didn't have the team to play in, so they just focused on this. And the other 2 players from the team, their teammates basically said, guys, I know how big this is for you. You have the month off, and just go and practice as much as you can. Focus on that one thing and show everyone what Argentina's got.
That is how much it means to these boys. And in terms of, do they play together when they're playing teams?
I think it's 2-2-1. Like,
Yeah.
2 players were playing for one team. Another 2, as I mentioned, are playing in another team. They still have that team, and there's one player alone.
Yeah.
Sadly, but I
And
mean,
also think when you have a scene that's not as big as, for example, if you have the Swedish scene where there's like 50 pro players, no worries, that's a lot of talent. But if you have a small scene like that, Argentina, when everyone's going to know each other. I know this back in the day from Denmark and CS Source, we had a tight-knit team of like 20 people, and everyone knew everyone. And it doesn't really matter who played on team with who, they could just go together and roll a strat. And I think it's the same with these guys. And I think they really want to show what, as you said, what Argentina can do.
Yep.
And they've been really practicing for this.
And we spoke to the boys from Argentina early today, and this is what they had to say.
Peru, we thought we could win easily, and it went that way. And Brazil, it was like a 50-50 because we didn't know the roster quite well. But I think we had a better team play. We knew each other a lot from other teams we had in the past, and I think that was what made us win.
We felt confident against Peru because we played them before, so we knew we had a equal level or better, so we were confident there. But of course, the lag with the servers, the ping, and those problems. But we finally won. So then against Brazil, we knew it was going to be hard when we saw the roster and we saw that there weren't any excellent players like the best from Brazil, Fallen, or the best even from Gex, like Steel, Power. We saw that we could stand a chance. So yeah, we were also confident. Like we were not so much, but we knew we could do it. So yeah.
Well, we had 2 players from one team, 2 from another, and Johnny Boy didn't have a team. So we decided to, as it was such a big tournament for us, to quit all our teams or gave them a break to practice the last 3 or 4 weeks so we could fully practice for this event and try to level with the best in the world.
We kind of don't know because of course, we haven't played before, like with teams like this, like players like Canada, for example, or Sweden, France, Denmark. We haven't had that experience against those kind of players, so we don't know how our level stands against their level. But we're gonna see. I think the group stage, the format is gonna help us see how we're gonna perform, and maybe if we win, we are going to be more confident in the quarterfinals.
Well, I mean, of course, they should be better than us, and we are coming as an underdog, but we don't know it until we play against them, because we never did. We just played against South American teams, so we just don't know. We have a lot of confidence in us, and until we don't play against them, we won't know.
It's amazing. You can see how much it means to those boys. And just finding out on our other stream, Singapore have beat Argentina 16-4, which really does make this match quite exciting as we cover Argentina taking on Tunisia. And should we take a quick look at the players and who they're bringing to the game today? Risk, what do you know of the team individually?
Of course, I follow mainly European CS, so watching a team from Argentina, basically all I have to go on is basically the games that you guys casted from the qualifier. So it's not a lot of knowledge I have on these boys, to be honest, but I'm really excited to see them because for a long time in CSGO it has been Europe and NA. That's all there is, nothing more. But now China's coming in, South Korea's coming in, and we have Argentina and Brazil to come in. But the player that really stands out to me, to be honest, is going to be Tommy. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do in this game because he has a strong fragging ability and he's only 17 years old.
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday. He doesn't seem 17. Like he's really serious about this. He's really focused, and you can see the passion coming out of him when he's talking about CS:GO and his nation and playing for Argentina at the moment. But yeah, I would agree with Risk that I think Tommy is a really good player. But you can't underestimate Johnny Boy. He is that X factor that Argentina has. He can go off at any moment. And we saw that in the qualifier. It takes him just one round to get hot, and when he gets hot, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of him.
So what makes someone like Johnny Boy stand out?
His opping skill.
Yeah.
Like his op is. I didn't expect that, honestly. Like looking at Argentina, I didn't expect him to be that good with an op. And as I said, when he gets hot, if you're on the other side of his scope, you're not looking at.
But also the way that the meta works right now, if you look at all the top teams in the world, Navi being a great example of that, they have that star AWP player. In Navi, it's Guardian, and for Argentina, obviously, it's Johnny Boy. So you need that strong AWP that can carry the team at some points, and just with his sheer firing power, he can just help his team out. And I think that's going to be the central thing for Johnny Boy here. It's going to be opening long-range duels and just holding the correct angle and positioning himself correctly. And yeah, I'm going to really look forward to see what he has in store.
So I am going to push you to name one player, one guy to watch. Risk?
I'm going to say Tommy. I'm going to go with my gut feeling. I always love to watch young talents coming into the game, also because in Denmark we have this mentality of getting these young players early on. And when I see someone at 17 years old playing in a tournament like this, I just want to, okay, this is the guy I'm only going to watch throughout the game because it's so exciting to see new players coming in.
So he could potentially just get better and better and better, I suppose, throughout this tournament.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping him in 2 years moving to NA and playing for a top NA team if he continues on this road and evolving as a player and just getting better and better by time.
So I don't know a lot about him. Where does he play currently? Do you know? Do you have that knowledge?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure he plays in Nocturnes or it's TIS. That's the two teams from Argentina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they've been switching it up, but I have to add to that, like, not even North America. Like,
yeah, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, if he goes, I think Europe is a long shot because Europe has the top talent, and one of the players from Europe said that tier 2 in Sweden is probably tier 1 in NA and South America and everywhere. But I think going just to Brazil, like
Yeah,
the neighboring
that would
country.
be a big one.
I think that could be a big step up for him, and that he could gain a lot of experience from that. And we see here the players getting ready. I think, yeah. I mean, he's such a young player, as we said, 17 years old. It can only go upwards for him, and I think he will be time mature and gain more experience, and the skill is there. He just needs the experience, and as I said, if he goes to Brazil, neighboring country, that's not so far away, I think he could be a top player in the world.
We've just seen the guys next door getting ready for the match. What's going through their head at this point? Do they know exactly the tactics they're going to play? Have they discussed it, or is it kind of, we're just going to react to what the other team bring?
I think it's going to be a mix of those two, but one important factor is going to be that they just lost the other game, as you mentioned. And was it 16-4?
16-14.
That's
16-4.
That's a stomp. So right now,
I think it's 14 because if it's 4,
Okay.
then Singapore is
that's
crazy good.
Yeah, I
that's-
was thinking that could be a
Yeah,
typing
Yeah,
error.
it's just been clarified.
it's
16-14.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because that that would have been a
That's
way
another
different.
shock for the day. if that
but you
happened.
know what? Even though it's 16-14 and you might think the score is closer,
Yeah.
I don't like this. I would rather have Singapore win against
Yeah,
Argentina
exactly.
16-4.
It, It just shocks you mentally. It just shocks you mentally.
And with this latest info, like Singapore was winning 13-5. So basically Argentina was coming back and they lost it. So I think they need to like switch something and just wow, that's hard for them.
Yeah, they need to
I think
reset
that's really-
mentally,
yeah,
and
they need to reset.
that's where the pro teams, they're really good at this. The best teams in the world, they know how to sit down after a loss. They get smacked on the map, or they lose out after a big comeback. The pro teams, they know how to sit down and like internalize it and use it to go into the next map. The not so pro teams, the tier 2, tier 3 teams, and players like this Argentinian national team, I'm not sure if they have that experience, and we're going to see that into this game. If they manage to internalize it, and if you manage to bring it into the next game as a positive energy, that's going to be great for them. But if that, like, last result is going to haunt them throughout this game, that's going to be terrible. But to bring it back to your point, set stats, that's definitely something they have, Argentina, because they've been playing together for a long time. I'm more excited to see what Tunisia can bring to this table, because this is a team that I have probably even less information on as an analyst.
These are two unknowns, really.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's so exciting, because we get to see two teams that we almost never see on a stream. Like when I'm home watching CS, I usually just see the European and maybe some NA matchups if I have time. I never see an Argentinian player. I never see a Tunisian player.
Maybe some Asian matches.
Maybe some Asian matches.
Some Asian.
Maybe, but
But-
this is new. This is exciting.
And he has a really good point there, like Tunisia versus Argentina. Like this is, I think, the only place you can see those two teams meet. Not like the national teams, but the teams from those countries. I think this is a really good.
Exciting. See, this is what we do on the World Championships. Only new stuff. That's what we're talking about. And as I said, we don't know a lot about the Tunisian side, but luckily we spoke to them earlier. So check this out.
Well, for teams, active teams, we have in Tunisia, we have like 4, maybe 3. North Africa, we have 10. Tournaments, we have like low cash prize, online. You hardly get to be at LAN event except in your own country. So that's another thing. But as a whole, North Africa as a whole, never.
I feel that, and we will try to put everything we have to impress some people. For me, first is Denmark and second is Turkey.
I don't know, I think they are prepared, but we're prepared too. Yeah, I would love to be one of the best 10 players of the world. They are really proud of me, because I was playing my entire life, and now I've got the chance to prove my skills. They are proud, yeah, and they are really pushing me for it.
All I can say is that we will do our best, and we have our chance, I think. Denmark or Turkey. Proud. One word, proud.
Well, like last year, I feel so proud of myself and my brother and my teammates, and I'm very happy about it and excited, and I hope we'll do our best.
Well, there we go. Super, super exciting stuff, especially on the back of a loss. If you're not aware, Argentina have just lost their match on the other stream, playing Singapore 16-14. That finished. So looking at the Tunisian team, what are your thoughts? Starting with you, Dusan.
I spoke to Kramzi earlier, and he said that they're confident in themselves. They came here to prove themselves, and I think we'll see a lot from this team. I mean, they had a really good qualifier, beating out South Africa. That was a really big thing for them. A huge underdogs in that matchup for me, and I think the other analysts that were there. And I think looking at the team, everyone has their own role, as do Argentinians. So I think we're gonna have a really team play matchup in this one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how Remind is going to play, because this is a player that you talked to me about. A lot other players, other people coming into the scene, that's telling me to watch this guy Remind from Tunisia, and this is going to be the first time I'm watching him on a LAN. And one thing is playing an online qualifier, another thing is being in the arena playing the LAN when your opponent is right next to you, and I'm really looking forward to see how it's going to perform. So yeah, that's going to be the most exciting thing for me. But as you mentioned, played really well in the qualifier, defeated a lot of countries that people perhaps wasn't expecting them to beat. So it's really great for them to come here.
Although it has to be said, like I think mentally they realized that they can win the qualifier after their win on the first map against South Africa, because in the group stage, first two matches they played against Morocco and Algeria, and it was like really close, 15-15 and 16-14 against Algeria, managing to be like have +1 round difference and going through to the second stage. And I think after the win against South Africa, they knew they were gonna win the entire thing, because Morocco was that one team that they played 15-15 with. And I think win against South Africa gave them the confidence, the boost that they needed to. And basically, they're really good players, all of them. And I think that boost really carried them to the victory of the qualifier.
And the hard question, I suppose, the player to watch. Risk, we know how your prediction's gone so far today, excellently. Who you think for Tunisia? Who's the boy to keep our eye on?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the Remind, but also noting that that him and Shiva actually share the last names. They're actually brothers, so there's probably some combo there in that we could find very interesting to see how those two work together, because the bond in that combo could be brilliant for this team.
Yeah, I would agree. And another player to watch is Pote. I mean, not to take anything from Remind, he played, I mean, throughout the qualifier amazingly, but Pote had some really crucial rounds, and he's the top player. And all players is always that one guy that can turn the round around. And I mean, Op, you just need one bullet. So basically, 3 bullets can win you the round, and I think he's also the one player that stands out for me.
Should we talk maps?
It's going to be
a hard one, right?
If we have to, yeah.
Argentina, what in an ideal world would they be getting, do you think, Risk?
We were talking about it earlier out in the green room, and we were kind of discussing cobblestone as an option for them.
And maybe even nuke. I mean, we've seen them play 2 times against Peru, both against Peru and Brazil, and they played good.
And nuke goes first.
And that's a really good ban for Tunisia. Like, I really like that ban. And if I was Tunisia, I would ban that as well. I mean, you don't have to take any chances. There's 6 bans for you and just 1 map that's left. So why not ban nuke, like the first map you're gonna ban? Yeah, good ban, good map for Argentina.
And the Mirage goes.
Oh,
that's again a really good map for Tunisia. They won their matches on it. They played with really with confidence on it, both against South Africa and Morocco in the final. I mean, these two first bans are really good and on point, and I think we're gonna see the rest of them. I'm expecting that Argentina is going for the cobblestone maybe, and Tunisia, they don't want to play overpass. Overpass is still a joker for some teams.
Yeah. Why? What's wrong with overpass?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to explain, but basically, you have to know a lot about the map to play it on top level, and you can just basically rush some sites and you're gonna get the advantage. on your CD side, when you see teams playing on it and not nations, you see a lot of teamwork and coordination and communication is on point. So it's really hard to take the sides. But in this format, like these teams are mixes, I don't think you ever want to see overpass. Maybe if you're Denmark.
Train's been vetoed.
Train.
Train.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Again, they're going for either Cobblestone or Dust2. Those are the two good maps for them. And
just because the amount of hours people have put in on Dust2, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows how to play Dust2. Even like that's the first map you see when you open the competitive map pool. First map, Dust2. You just go for it. And if you're playing matchmaking or something, you queue 6 maps. Dust2 is gonna pop up. So still Cobblestone, Dust2, and Cash in
I
the
think
mix.
Cash could be very good for Tunisia.
Yeah, actually, I agree.
think that could work out for them.
And we see here a ban of Cobblestone. That's a really good, really good ban. They did their research. That's one thing I like. That's a really good.
They've done their googling. That's what we want. I like that.
Like you can find out all this information. It's not unknown, but I like their pick and ban phase from Tunisia. They banned the maps that. I think the maps that they banned so far are on point, and going forward, I think Argentina is going to ban Cash.
So before we even get to this point, have each team got a map in mind? They think, okay, this is what we want. We've got a strategy for this map. We know how we'd play it, especially against this side.
Basically, most teams prepare some part of the map pool. So they get 3 or 4 maps that they know we can play our best game on this. We of course have a favorite one, but 3 or 4 team maps are like, these are our best maps. And then you choose 1 or 2 maps that are like, oh, we don't want to play these. These are not our favorite maps at all. And we're ending on the last 2 basically that these teams are very strong on. So if it's what's going to be Cash, that could have been great as well. I think it could have been great for Tunisia, but that's not how we're going to end up. But I think it's going to be an interesting game nonetheless. I don't think I see any clear favorite in this one. It's pretty much 50-50 for me.
Yeah, it is. It's Dust2. I think all the when you have close teams like this, it's always 50-50, and when you especially on Dust2, I mean, that's the map that everything can happen. You can have fast takes on your T side. Your CD side needs to be strong. Your holds need to be strong. You need to be reactive. We saw in the North American qualifier that basically USA, when they were up against the wall, they just ran A. And even Canada players said, we know they're gonna rush A. We know they're gonna rush long, but we can't do anything about it.
We can't stop them.
You can't stop them. And if the teams are prepared and they have the teamwork and the communication, Dust2 is really good for them. Perfect for them, actually.
So let's go and look at the map specifically. Dust2, what kind of features stand out for you?
To be honest, we talked about mid control on Mirage in the first one, and I think the Battle of the Orbs is something that, as a Counter-Strike fan, because of course I'm here as an analyst, but most of all I'm a Counter-Strike fan, and one of my favorite things to watch in Counter-Strike is the mid-duel on DDoS2 with the Orbs. Who's going to get that first frag? Who's going to get that opening? And usually you can just smoke it off from different angles, but if you get that first shot in, if you get the first kill around early on with the orb, that's just going to be so much easier for you. It doesn't even matter if you're on the T or CT side. Of course, on the T side it gets way easier, but that opening AWP duel when you get into the buy rounds on mid on Dust2 is going to stand out for me.
I would agree, and I think long control is really important, because if you get the long control on Dust2, you just leave one player there, and you basically have an entire portion of the map just for yourself. You're not that easy to kill if you stand in pit, maybe one flash, but then again the guy needs to run towards you a long distance. So basically, if you have long control, you have control of the entire A side, because no one can stand on the ramp and defend short from there. I think these teams know that, and I think they're gonna go for that as well as did USA. As you said on Mirage, mid control, it's not that important on Dust2, and you can't even have the entire control of mid because it's so different from Mirage. You have the doors, basically 2 separate sectors, and one smoke can limit your angles on mid. So I think I think long is the place to be for the terrorists.
Exciting, exciting. We are literally minutes away from the game now. And hey, you thought you came here just to watch Counter-Strike. I laugh at that because we're here to learn things as well. And we put a little documentary together about Argentina. It's amazing. See what you think.
Located in South America, Argentina is a plain rising from the Atlantic to the Chilean border and the towering Andes peaks. Argentina is also bordered by Bolivia and Paraguay on the north and by Uruguay and Brazil on the east. Argentina has one of the most beautiful landmarks, the largest waterfall system in the world, Iguazu Falls. Buenos Aires is the capital and the largest city of Argentina. The meaning of Buenos Aires is clean or good air. It's a top tourist destination and is known for its preserved Spanish and European style architecture and rich cultural life. One of the icons and national historic monuments is Obelisco de Buenos Aires, or Obelisk of Buenos Aires. 157 workers built the 67.5-meter tall monument in just 31 days from March 20th till May 23rd of 1936. Argentines are very passionate about sports, especially football. One of the most known football derbies, also known as Super Clasico, takes place in Argentina. Boca Juniors and River Plate have a rivalry that goes on for more than a century now. The first official match was played on August 24, 1913, and since then 358 matches have been played between the two clubs. Talking about rivalries, Argentina and Brazil have it going on pretty much everything, and esports is no exception. When you think about South America, especially Counter-Strike, the first thing that comes to mind is Brazil, with worldwide known teams like MIBR and more recently, SK Gaming.
Argentina, up until now, didn't have as much success as their neighbors. Before 2015, there weren't many big CSGO LAN tournaments organized in Argentina. There were a lot of small ones, but they were primarily organized by the players themselves and with little to no support from any organization.
But things were about to change when in November 2015, Argentine teams came to an agreement with well-known organizations from Brazil like Games Academy and Gamers Club.
This made it possible for Argentines to compete in a more professional environment. For the first time, they took part in some better-known tournaments in South America, like Max 5 Invitational, Gamers Academy LAN Cup, and many others.
Finally, the Argentinian Counter-Strike scene was growing. Players started putting more effort into the game that brought a lot of new sponsors and organizations into the region.
Two of the best teams in Argentina, 2Kill Gaming and Furious Gaming, took part in the Razer Rising Stars League South American division. They didn't have much success against 6 other opponents coming from Brazil. They finished at the 6th and the 7th place, respectively.
But Argentina got their revenge in the World Championship South American qualifier.
Interestingly enough, Argentina had their own competition organized by Bracken.net to determine the squad that is going to represent their country in the TWC qualifier.
More than 150 players applied and 4 captains were determined. One of them, Jonathan Munoz, aka Johnny Boy, assembled a winning squad. Nabil NBL Awela, Thomas Tommy Gardia, Matias Tutan Canel, Noel Straka Vasquez.
Argentina started its TWC qualifier run in the semifinals against Peru. That best-of-3 matchup went the full distance, with Argentina coming on top, carried by some huge plays made by Tommy.
The grand final against Brazil was booked. Everyone saw Brazil as the favorite.
In the pre-game show, I honestly thought that Brazil has the upper hand coming into this matchup, but as the match started, you could see the passion and will to win coming out of Argentines. That's when I said to myself, these guys definitely deserve the spot at the LAN finals.
After 4 grueling maps, one of which ended in overtime, Argentina managed to pull through and win 3-1. All the effort and hard work the players had put in had finally paid off.
No puedo creer, gente. Estoy feliz. Cumplí otro sueño. No voy a salir con los chicos, la verdad que no lo puedo creer. Lo busqué mucho. Les juro que este viaje a Europa lo busqué muchos años. Gracias a todos por el aguante y espero que sigamos representando bien y que hayan estado contentos. Gracias.
You don't usually see this much emotion in esports. It just shows you how much effort he put into it, how badly he wanted this chance to proudly represent Argentina on the big stage. Simply incredible.
Argentina will be battling out in Belgrade for the share of $100,000 and, more importantly, for national pride on the global stage.
Super exciting stuff. Just to restate, they're not playing for the teams here, they're playing for the countries. So the risk is running high, people really wanting to represent the boys at home, and the prize pot for the World Championships 2016 is a sweet $100,000, which is super exciting. And boys, it's prediction time. Risk, over to you first, the king of predictions.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I got to
No
step it
sarcasm.
back now.
Yeah. The man that knows exactly what's going on.
I actually think that I'm favouring Argentina for this one. I'm thinking they're going to be close. So 16-12 Argentina, I'm thinking.
Even though they're coming off the back of a
yes,
back of a loss.
I think they're gonna hopefully do the mental reset, and because as we saw in the video, it means so much to these guys. We saw the video with Johnny Boy as well. It means so much to him to get into this, and he does not want to start being 0-2 in the group stage. So they want to come back now, and I think they can do it. You're not impressed.
Yeah.
Dushan, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this loss, 16-14, really came at a bad moment.
Yeah.
Like if the next match was against maybe Sweden, Denmark, they know that don't have that much of a chance of beating them, so they're going like, okay, we'll try our best, but these are the guys that they aim to beat.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they aim to beat everyone, but these guys are the vulnerable ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Tunisia is gonna take this one. I'm gonna go with the boys from Tunisia. I talked with Crumbs. They have the confidence in themselves. Although Remind is kind of sick, he has some problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bad timing for that. But I mean, there's 5 players on the server, and I think all of them can overcome Argentina 16 to. I'm gonna go closer, 16-14.
It's so exciting. We've just seen the boys setting up. They're literally next door. So if you're waiting for the match, we are a matter of moments before we can cross over there and watch Argentina take on Tunisia. Score prediction?
Well, 16-12 for me, and what
16-14.
16-14. So
although it's the same as against Singapore, but if Argentina loses both of the first matches, 16-14 or 14-16.
Oh, that's so rough for them, because
That's
those
so
are
rough
the
for
two
them.
games
That's so
that they
rough for
want to
them.
start out with a win, because
Yeah.
they can't really count on getting a win against Denmark, Sweden, or France, or Canada for that
Yeah.
matter. So they need, if they want a decent seed and
Yeah.
not face one of those teams in the first round, they want to get a win against Tunisia, Singapore, and already botched it against Singapore.
Yeah.
And now they have Tunisia, and they just have to win it, to be honest.
Like no, the most exciting part for me about this tournament is not only having national teams here, but the system that we have here.
Yeah.
Like all these teams, all of the 8 teams are gonna be in the quarterfinals. They're gonna play on the main stage in the arena. So yeah, these matches matter. They want to get the best seed, or I mean, get the best seed they can. And we do. If they lose to Tunisia, Argentina, I don't think they can come back from that.
No,
I mean,
I think they're going to get 8th seed then.
Yeah, I honestly think. I mean, I can't see them winning against Canada. I honestly can't. Against European teams, I mean, European teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
They have to take the win in order to not get the last seed, to be honest.
Actually, I think even Tunisia, to me, has better chances of winning against maybe Canada. But again, I see Canada as winning this whole event. So we're not gonna go into that detail.
Enough.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
But I mean,
so talking the rest of the tournament. Obviously, today we're in the e-frag studio, today and tomorrow. But then when we come to the weekend, we're going to be live from the stadium here in Belgrade, which is going to be super exciting. There'll be loads of people down there. Do the players play different when they're in front of the crowd? Do the pressure get to them?
Well, the players, if it's their first time in a stadium, it's going to get to them. And the question is, will they use it in a positive way to spur them on even more? Or will they just like get mentally locked down? Because some people do that when they get so much pressure on them. And if there's like 5,000, 10,000 people cheering for them. So it's going to be very exciting to see how they handle under pressure, because that could make or break a player, especially coming in from Argentina, Tunisia, where it's going to be their first time in their lifetime being in a stadium like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have players from Denmark that already played at big LAN centers, big arenas. We have players from Sweden, although not that well known, but we have Delpon, the 1.6, not legend, but a really good player there. So and of course from Canada players. So yeah, I think that could impact the game.
Amazing. Well, it's time to cross over. Remember, they're not only playing for the $100,000, they're also playing for their country. It's time to go over to Argentina as they take on Tunisia. Over to our commentators, Scrawny and Mega Man, who are next door. Boys, over to you.
Alrighty, guys, thank you so much. We are really excited for this matchup because it should be a really good one, especially on paper when you look at these two teams, the way that they break down, the way that they match up. And we're going to get probably the most pug-friendly map that we could ask for in this situation, being that it's on Dust2. Scrawny, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and as you mentioned, incredibly excited, right? Like you said, again, Dust2 going to be a very nice place to see these guys kind of tee off, to see, again, who's going to step things up. And remind, I'm excited because he's been hyped, not only on stage, but kind of behind the scenes. People are talking about him, so it's going to be nice to actually see how he decides to show up here on Dust2. Pistol round, live. Ready to go. Yeah, and actually I had an opportunity to talk to some of the guys from Tunisia outside before the match started up. We're going to get into that in just a second. Pote is going to take a little bit of a battle here with Johnny Boy, but it's a fast rush towards B. Tommy in the back line is going to be popping some heads here. Manages to take down 2. Does get traded out, and Crump's going to find the answer. But Tootin is going to be able to find one on his own. Now it's going to be NBL coming in through lower, and Crumps is actually going to have to ace it to win it. He's already got 3 on the round, but see what he can do here is he is going to be peeking out from window room. Might be able to spot a player down in the CT. He will do just that. Can take a long-range battle with the USP, and that's not going to really afford him all that much as he's down to 33 health. Will get the bomb planted, though, so the potential for that 3rd round buy is now on the table. NBL as well, he still has his smoke, definitely can set up some sort of an execution back for the retake kit as well, means it's only 5 seconds, but Crumps, he's going to be taken out as NBL catches the headshot, gets a bit aggressive there, trying to take the peak, but trying to, of course, equalize that into the 1 versus 1, and unfortunately for him, it doesn't pan out, so it's going to be Argentina with the pistol round, 1-0 straight out the gates on the CT side, and it's going to be looking good. Of course, Tunisia with that bomb plant, as you mentioned, right? Round 3 buy now on the table. That's going to be something heading forward to look out for, but it's going to be Deagles here in round number 2. So still a nice little refresher of a buy, just the bare minimum heading forward. Argentina not looking to take too many chances as they do go straight into the double M4A1S. They've got an ump and a FAMAS and a bit of a limitation with Johnny on the scout as well, and he's not going to be spotting anybody mid. Tunisia are going to be going for that mid control. 3 players up towards the barrels, and Johnny Boy is going to be spotting the first, but he unscopes, still a tag. Pate dropped through the door, down and out. But still 4 players crossing, and now that's going to be 1 spotted out. We've got the post player up close, Tutan, ready to take the peek if need be, but oh, what a headshot, straight through the edge of the door.
Yeah, and that's 2 wall-bang shots there for Johnny to start things off. And we said, you know, he's the player to watch when it comes to the scoped rifles for his side. Crump's trying to make something happen for B, but it's going to be Tommy and Tootin to shut things down. And again, Argentina, they've taken 5 points of damage throughout this round so far, and that is not even remotely promising for Tunisia moving into this round at all. I mean, they were looking to do a little economic damage, maybe get another bomb plant just to be able to fortify that 3rd round buy even more. But for the time being, they're going to be playing a little bit from the back foot. You can see Torres over here behind those long doors, but the bomb is dropped in upper dark in the B halls, so he's got a lot of ground to cover. You've still got Johnny Boy down in mid with the well, he's actually over in B now with the scout. He's got a player aggressive on the cat. That's Straka. Just going to be looking for it. Now he's going to spot him out. So now the position is compromised. Long-range spray with the UMP, trying to make it happen. Switches over to the secondary, and we'll clap him in the face. Unfortunately, he gets only $300 for that kill as opposed to the $600 that he would have gotten for the SMG. But it's going to be all right. And now is where we should see, well, maybe not. We're not going to see a 3rd round buy. We're going to see some pistol and armor upgrades. So they're gonna go for the biggest buy they possibly can going into that 4th round. Make sure that they have the AWP in the hands of Pote.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
And all of the nades that they could possibly want with it. You can see they've got 5 flashes and a smoke into this round as well, so they've got a little bit of utility.
Ooh, Straka's going to be down incendiary, not necessarily landing, but he's going to be going wide as all these players are blinded up, unable to connect their shots, though. A bit of damage dealt, but it is going to be 2 frags here for Tunisia before Argentina takes it back. Johnny Boy with the Deeg, about to find the last. It's Crump's left standing, and he too topples. Argentina convert the point, and that round looked a little bit more promising. Obviously, they didn't have the Kevlar, they had the Tech 9s and some nades as well, but none of it was able to execute because they didn't even get around that first corner. As we mentioned, though, already an op, ready to go. And just excellent shooting here from Johnny.
Well, he got everything he wanted out of that. HE grenade kill, he got a scout kill, and 2 deagle kills. And the only thing that was missing was if he threw a flash at that last player and killed him with a flashbang. That would have been nuts. But for now, we'll save that for later. Maybe get to see a flash kill in the tournament today. That would be really awesome. Very aggressive from Johnny Boy, though, up here on Catwalk. They're going to go full aggression behind this on the Argentinian side. They've actually sent NBL to the top side of mid. He's going to catch a player out with a nade out. Not able to execute the spray. Shiva comes out and bails out Tor, so they will be able to capitalize on the early man advantage this time for the terrorist side. It's going to be really interesting. And Australia, they're going to get aggressive at other avenues to try to gather up some more information. But he's going to have to play this one a little bit smart. He doesn't want to give too much away. And there is a player right on the outside. You can see a couple of tagged up players here for the T side, but nothing to really speak of, and they do have that man advantage to work with.
And I mean, at this point, Argentina are actually in a very good position to potentially try to equalize this out. If those two players over towards Long A want to get ambitious and try to take this fight straight towards Shiva, that would be the 4 versus 4. But the problem here is that Tunisia's already set up inside of the tunnels, and they're poised to be heading this out towards that B site. Now, we've got that last man who was over towards Long, Shiva, joining forces in towards mid. Pate able to find the first kill. Tommy out from the back of Platt. 210, gonna have to be repositioning to the behind the car, and he bought some time with a bit of utility, but still the players start to round the corner. Remind out first. Tor able to trade, so that's the site now clear, but they do still have Shiva inside of mid. Argentina with 2 players. Incendiary is the only nade here, but they do spot, again, Shiva here. Down and gone. But no op.
Alright, apologies for that, guys. Had a minor technical issue pop up, but we've fixed it and we're good to go. I'm sure you guys have still seen the action just without our sultry voices behind it to bring you guys the narrative. But we will be seeing this round. Argentina up 4-0 now. And again, like we said, that last round looked so promising to start off for the Tunisian side. They were able to get 2 picks to open things up, and then they ended up losing a 3 versus 5. Even Tommy in the back plat position with that M4 long-range battle, and Pote was able to find the off-frag to open up that bomb site. The usage from the Argentinian side was really, really smart. That Molotov comes out, made him burn a smoke, able to find one, does get traded, but then the retake onto that B-bomb site was, they went in whole hog on that one, and it worked out really, really well. And now NBL, Johnny Boy, going to be able to open things up for Argentina this time around.
They're going to be trying to take that mid fight. Down goes Shiva in the B push. It works out. Pate's still up and standing, but it is, of course, just the 1v3, and he's tagged to the engagement, unfortunately. Can't even cross with any sort of utility, but does manage to make the jump. He's going to be coming back for the repeak, so looking to take an initiative and take a fight, but he's got to be act quick because there's already a flank up and behind him. He spots the opper towards CT. That would have been a nice frag, but unfortunately, there's just too many players nearby. So Argentina able to extend that lead towards 5. And now things start to get scary. Tunisia are not going to be able to buy into this round. Of course, if they want to just buy a few pistols, that would work. But to bottom out their economy, no. They need to get themselves back into the AWP to get that information on those mid picks. And again, utility being a big factor at this point, because we see it even in that last round when they have no smoke to cross. All the information can be gathered. It's easier to read, but it's going to be an out a long push. Flashbangs allowing them some space, but Crump's leading the charge here as the CT's reel backwards. You can see this. They're going to be giving up this cross control. Let them play, and they're just going for the retake. Excellent stuff as NBL starts to spot those 3 players already across, and that's going to be 4. Nobody dropped, but everybody tagged. Ups then Shiva. He's going to be burned alive here, or at least burned slightly, as the frag grenade is what finds the kill. Johnny Boy to find the first, and now another frag kill. Excellent utility usage here from Argentina as they slowly just knock them down one after another. Tunisia not even able to find the bomb plant in that. So again, it's Argentina just in full control of the situation.
Yeah, it's 2 rounds in a row that they've actually denied bomb plants for Tunisia, so they don't get the extra joy, the extra money. And you can see how it hurts when it comes to buying down these nades. Pote is only going to be on the smoke. The rest of them have full utility behind their buys, which is it's good enough. One of the other big things to note in that was Johnny Boy sitting at 10 kills at the end of that round, so he's looking pretty solid throughout. But for the time being, we'll have to see it. It looks like we lost our in-game feed for a second here, but I'm just watching here off of the off of NBL's monitor, he's been tagged down to 17 HP, and he's going to be trying to make the best of the situation. As you can see, it looked like they were going for a little bit of a faster long A execute from the Tunisian side. And so far, no players have been dropped. Now we're back into the action. Yes, let's get it going. As we are going to see, Pote did get tagged down to 78, but NBL is going to be the one worse for the wear. It looked like it was probably a leg shot from Pote and a little bit of a one-on-one battle there at long A that netted them that little bit of a health pool advantage to start off this round.
Yeah, a bit of a mid-duel. NBL now just going to be taking a more passive angle, so they're definitely susceptible to this mid-to-B play. Argentina already aware of it, and Straka, he's already set up over here towards long A, so if they do decide to push out, again, they can definitely flank Tunisia if they try to execute in towards the B site. They've tried this before, but again, it's been to no avail. They find themselves into the site, but not with enough players, not with enough utility left standing afterwards, but this time it's going to be Pote looking for the angle, and
Tommy.
Yeah, that was close.
Playing this patient. Remind Mike Ketchum here. He's going to get spotted out. Almost lines up the double. Pote does go down. That Molotov is going to burn him back as well. He's down to 3. In this position from NBL, this was, I wanted to make a note of this one. I love this spot. Yes, take off the X-ray. You see what he sees. He's going to be able to spray down one before Shiva's going to be getting the trade frag. That's going to allow the dude to get to a promising position, and he cleans up all 3 to close out the round. And Argentina, now they lost to Singapore 16-14, but they have come out throwing strikes in this matchup so far, completely skunking the Tunisian side.
Yeah, which is sort of what we expect, right? These guys came into this tournament incredibly prepared. They've been talking about how they were structured, and they had that to their advantage. So this is kind of what we expected. 7-0 lead, excellent. But, I mean, excellent repositioning over towards the B side as well, taking that close angle next to the smoke to catch those 2 players, and then just the 180 whip around as the icing on the cake. Argentina.
Well, that's one of the things too to notice. A lot of pro players will say, you know, if you know that the mid B split is coming, push your way into tunnels to take off. Like it's you know, a double-headed snake at that point.
Yeah.
You just take the worst of the 2 evils, push in, or either get outside of the B bomb site, let him have it, and go for the retake. But that situation, he played it smart. He pushed up behind his smoke, allowed them to run through it. He was able to be fast enough to swing around and find that last player. So a nice job from the backside of the site there.
Ooh, this time's going to be Tommy again from the back lines. Johnny from Platt able to connect 2, window. But already the peaks coming in from Tommy and Tutan. Just rotations on point once more. It's Tunisia incredibly locked out of this B site. They do still have Tor inside of the bottom of mid. But again, just being surrounded, being outnumbered. That has just been the storyline of this match so far. Tunisia very rarely find themselves in a man advantage. And once they lose one, they just happen to crumble. It's 12-1 from Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
Excellent op-shotting from the window, of course. And then, again, his team was just always so close. That's a props to give to Argentina. Their positioning has been excellent thus far.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I mean, just the sheer number of kills that's on the other side. They have 12 kills total on Tunisia's side. 12 kills total in 8 rounds. That is not good at all. And you can see actually also from that graph that they've only gotten 2 bomb plants in 8 rounds. So it's not only that they're not able to find these picks, their trade game has been lackluster to say the least, you know. That's the main thing, is you want to be able to get those revenge kills. If your buddy goes down, you want to be there to capitalize and get that, because the trades generally favor the terrorist side, because when you put it, especially on a map like this where the rotations are not super fast. It's not like a map like Overpass where you can get from the A bomb site to the B bomb site lickety split. You know, it's not like that, or Nuke where you can just drop down the vents and all of a sudden you're in the other bomb site. You know, it's cobblestone-esque rotations where you're playing a player on long A. They've got to either push through long, come around through mid, through lower B, or through the double doors towards the B bomb site, and that's a really long rotation. So a frag duel, a trade, will favor the terrorist side because the rotations, plus if you spread the map thin on the CT side, it's a lot harder for them to hold all those choke points because you've got long A, catwalk, mid, lower B, B tunnels, upper dark, and all of that stuff. So a lot of areas for them to be able to attack from on the T side, and Tunisia just hasn't been able to capitalize on these trades.
Not only have they not been able to capitalize on trades, but I don't think they've been exploiting catwalk enough as they should be. Even if they don't
get gone up cat yet.
Exactly. They had one player in that previous round just kind of scouting it out, and he saw absolutely nobody on the site. So whether or not they want to even execute from cat in towards A, that could be an option. But if they don't even want to go to the A site and they do want to continue trying to push the envelope over towards B, at least have a presence on catwalk to draw those players out of the bomb site. Create that bit of a stutter in the defense, because thus far it has been B on lockdown, and they keep trying to, you know, hammerhead it through, but it's just not panning out. Tunisia in this round, though, they're going to be, of course, on these upgraded pistols, trying to go up towards catwalk. Going to be met by Argentina. They did take that fast cat. Tor and Remind to find 2, and BL does trade frags back, and now that's going to be an AK in the hand of the point man. Johnny Boy down with the incendiary. Again, he's still on this site, but he has to be cautious as there's nobody long, and now there's a man coming around the corner. It's going to be Pote. Tech-9ing away. Headshot found as Argentina find themselves in a 2v4.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tutin kind of shoots a little bit early there and not able to find that. Now, Pote has an AWP, so he's got his favorite weapon. And this is the best looking round that we've seen from Tunisia. Hey, what do you know? It came on a fast catwalk play. Even though it was only pistols for him, they actually had a setup on catwalk, and Argentina got caught with a little bit of timing that kind of hurt them a little bit. But you can see they've played it for long game. They've got Pote down at long by Dumpster, playing with that AWP, so he's going to have a lot of ground to be able to cover with that AWP. And this should be an unwinnable round now for Argentina. You can see they're trying to drop down into CT. They are actually fighting their way back in, but are they going to expect the player from Deuce? And he overpeaks, but Shiva is going to be able to find that. And now they've just got to contend with this AWP at long. And actually, Pote misses the shot. He's not going for the repeat. They're allowing him to push up, and now he's going to be able to get into the site. There's the op. Another miss. He is on the bottom. Another miss. Oh, is he going to get the... Please. Oh, no!
No!
What just happened? Oh, my God. Tunisia, you had it in the palm of your hand, and you crumbled.
That's a
Pote. He missed like 4 shots. No. You got to win those, Connor.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. There's it's just, it goes without saying, you absolutely have to win that situation. I mean, maybe because he's peeking.
He hits that shot.
What gets me is the fact that he's peeking from the corner, so he allows the player to push up ramp. If he was inside of pit, he could have much more safely re-peeked over and over again.
Yeah.
But because he has to completely keep his body around that corner, he's never able to cover his teammate. And then when the player on the site loses, you'd think, okay, he's going to get him while he's defusing. But apparently not. That's just, I'm speechless.
I mean, the plant was for him. The positioning advantage was in his hands. The firepower arsenal was in his hands, and he just missed the shot.
Yep.
That's
it's as simple as that.
That is a mistake that cannot be made. Cannot be made. And maybe it's a little bit of nerves, you know, from the Tunisian side. Maybe that could be something that's playing into it. But right now, I mean, that was a must-win round. A 9-6 half is the best that they can hope for right here, and they haven't really. That was the most that we've seen from them in a round. I mean, it came down to a 1v1. What other rounds have been that close? None.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
there hasn't
exactly
been any
that.
other life or wind in the sails for the Tunisian side. Now, what I would like to see is, because Catwalk worked so well for him the last time, is throw a mid-B smoke, go for a little bit of a mid-presence fake, maybe lurk somebody out through double doors, but hit Catwalk.
Yeah.
And force your way up there, because you know that Johnny Boy's playing over there with the AWP. You could be able to isolate him into man-to-man coverage and try to go for it, but they're going to force their way in towards B. And, well, again, the off angle from Tude is going to be able to find a couple, but there it is, lining them up, spraying them down. Tommy with the 3K, and just completely shuts down the push.
I mean, Shiva's still inside of mid. Maybe he's going to be able to find one more frag to the favor of Tunisia, but other than that, there we go. Straka cats it from the back. So one round where they find success pushing Catwalk, they find themselves onto the A site and in an incredible 4 versus 2 after plant positioning. Now let's even forget what happened and how that concluded. That was the most success they'd found, as you had mentioned, Mega Man. From there, they revert directly back into this just 4 players walking out B tunnels, 1 man lurking mid play. And it's not even anybody mid drawing the attention away from tunnels initially. So
there's no
we've
distraction.
emphasized that they need this distraction. You need to get up the defense kind of, you have to have them second guessing, because as of right now, Argentina have an incredible read of the situation. Pote again with a missed shot on a player crossing with absolutely zero cover, not even a flashbang. But Shiva finds himself up Catwalk with the bomb hot on his heels. So look at this again, once more. No defense there to stop it. They're going to be able to find themselves a plant for Catwalk as well. They still have Remind inside of mid with the Opper close towards long. If he's able to find himself out as those CTs rotate back towards the site, then he'll have that pit after plant. But they have lost mid, and that's going to be, of course, the positioning for the bomb. So now things get interesting, and NBL's patient pans out. 5 versus 2. This one should be easy.
Yeah, they're playing this smart on the Argentinian side. They know that they gave up Catwalk. There's no reason for them to even peek it. There's no reason for them to even think about that area. Now you can see they're just going to come back in and 5-man swarm the site. Shiva and Torque both go down without any reply whatsoever, and that's going to be an 11th round now for Argentina. They have been, and this was the question on the desk, right? They just lost 16-14 in a really close match with Singapore. How are they going to be able to bounce back from that?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get behind in the group seedings when we move forward into our you know, quarterfinals and everything like that, because they don't want to draw against a strong team.
Exactly.
You know, they don't want to draw low against a team like a Denmark or a France or even a Canada. I know that you wanted me to say that because you're Canadian.
I said nothing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All the viewers at home know that you're Canadian. It's true.
Johnny's got the only op this round. There's no op on the side of the T's, and maybe this will work out. But Pote, mentioning the opper for the T side, already damaged up. 63 points of health left. Of course, they have presence in towards the top of mid and bottom tunnels. Now, this is pretty much your standard T side mid-play, which is nice to see. They've already got some information. They've got a man keeping an eye out toward catwalk, keeping an eye on the flank in towards tunnels. So this is much more standard, and it's a standard catwalk take, which is exactly what they should be going for. Now, this time, Argentina are aware, of course, that catwalk was open. They're aware that Tunisia is also have found this out, and that's why now we've got Johnny Boy standing on the site with that AWP. He's just going to be playing from game helper, patiently waiting for the peak to come on forward. And if Tunisia think that they can walk this out through catwalk like they did in the previous round, meeting no resistance, not going to happen this time, because Johnny Boy's spot, when supported with players from long, not to mention now a second man on the cross, it'll be very difficult for Tunisia to unroot him from this, especially as they just expend this utility to burn away the clock. If, of course, Tunisia don't look to go elsewhere as the first frag comes out towards long, this is their chance to rotate. But if they do decide to commit to it, Argentina are lying in wait.
Yeah, they just dropped the fresh smoke on catwalk as well. Their position is compromised, and now it's just Johnny Boy's playground. If there's one, he's going to miss the second shot. He does get hung up a little bit, but there it is. He does manage to find a second and a third, and the cross has been locked down. Yep. Argentina, again, 5 players alive. If we can, if our observer can pull up the scoreboard real fast, I want to once again, if we can go back to that round where it came down to the 1v1, and just take a look at the rounds that were subsequently after that and how many picks Tunisia actually got. I don't think that they've gotten a kill in the last 2 rounds. No. Maybe even 3 rounds.
Argentina also read the situation perfectly. Again, the one round where they walk up catwalk, Tunisia tried to do the exact same thing in the following round, and Argentina had reacted to it superbly. Yep. So it's like Argentina, again, they had this read from the get-go.
They're adaptive.
Exactly. That's the key, is that they're adaptive to the situations that Tunisia try to throw back at them, and Tunisia haven't been. It took them how long to finally go catwalk? And now that they've gone catwalk, it's already been reacted to. Again, Argentina, they're going to change things up. They're reacting to the cat play by having 2 players over here towards the stairs. Nobody necessarily playing game helper with that off, but Johnny Boy is still on towards the site. So there's no presence long, but Tunisia aren't. Now, exactly. He's seeing, he falls back. Where do they go from here?
Yeah, and this is what I actually like is they're playing so dynamic on the CT side for Argentina. You know, they went for 3 players long A. The last round gave up a little bit of cat control because they had Johnny over by Carr. This time around, they're not playing anybody with mid presence. They're just letting Tui just jump around by double doors and spot anything that was coming around. I think he was actually jump peeking from window and spotted the player out mid. So no map control right now for Tunisia. They're going to try to just go dry out through mid, and it does work out for him as NBL does fall. But now Johnny Boy gets the pick because there was no smoke down on CT spawn, and with the Molotov and the smoke over towards tunnels, that's going to allow Tommy and his teammate in that site to be able to just turn around and watch those angles. Now Tude is over by car position. He is going to be able to clean up one, and now all of a sudden it's down to Tor and a 1 versus many, and he's not even getting past the first one. So I like the idea from Tunisia. I just think that they didn't have the utility to go for what they wanted there. Yep. And again, I mean, we've been talking about Johnny Boy throughout this map so far. 18-2-2. Just a stellar performance. And this was the man that we talked about. There was the video of him, you know, sobbing with joy on the qualification of Argentina being here. And seeing him come in here and step up and just wreck Tunisia. 18-2 on the scoreboard. Make it 19-2. Yeah, and that's the thing. The confidence in his peaks. Make it 20. All right, we'll go for an even 20. Calm down, Johnny. It's not that serious.
Argentina just know at this point, right?
Yeah.
Even in that last round, they just disrupt the timing with the Molotov on the tunnel, and again, just pick them away 1 by 1. That's what they've been doing. Is just
$600 investment messes up the whole strategy.
Yep, exactly. Even with Tunisia able to find that mid off of it. Again, this time lose 2 players early. They're in already a disadvantageous position. Where do they go from here? They've got that bomb up catwalk. They do still have presence in towards tunnels and over towards long, so they're keeping eyes out. But it's a matter of execution. You're being allowed to roam around. Argentina have allowed Tunisia to do this in multiple rounds now. Go for whatever you want because Argentina are just, as you mentioned, so adaptive to it.
Well, look at Johnny. He started off, he got 2 picks pushing aggressively in mid double doors. The last time that we spotted him, he was over at long A. Where's he at now? He's playing behind this barrel on the A ramp. So, again, dynamic positioning, and this is what I like to see. He's going to be able to peek out. Doesn't spot the first player. Isn't able to connect the shot, but there it is. There's his third on the round. Almost gets the 4th, but he is going to finally fall, so we are in a 3-on-2. Definite possibilities here, but they do have an incendiary grenade on 2 different players and an HE on Tude, who is coming up on catwalk, and Remind goes down. He was the low player. I was going to say the nade could have taken him down anyway, but it's just going to be the Molotov to force him out of position, and it's an easy cleanup here for Argentina. 14-0. Could we see, and I know that the caster's curse is going to come out on this one, but could we see Argentina go from a 16-14 30-round map to a 16-0 wash?
It's very possible. It's by all means possible.
And the cool thing was is we were a little bit delayed, a little bit slightly behind on the start of this match. This is going to catch us up real nice.
By all means, absolutely.
We could see a 15-0 and then a 15-0 in overtime. I mean, it's possible.
Who knows?
What was it? There was a match, not in the most recent history, but I believe it was Fnatic on Dust2 where they were down, like, it was Fnatic versus Nip, I think it was, and it was just a tremendous half one way or the other, like 14-1 or 13-2.
Round number 15, finally they go for this, excuse me, round number 15, they go back for this A long push. They haven't seen this since the beginning of the half when they were first shut down, and what happens this time? They run out and
mollies and nades
are shut down. It's just been Argentina just overwhelming Tunisia. They haven't been able to grab any initial map presence, and then once the CTs have that initial advantage, they just sit back, allow Tunisia to execute, and play off the trade. So this was a perfectly played half. There's no way to argue that. 15-0 cements it.
22 kills total in 15 rounds for the Tunisian side. If my math is on point, you guys at home, I'm sure you can double check that. But the biggest part about this right here is your bottom fragger for Argentina is Tommy playing at B. They hit the extremities almost every single round. They either went towards B, where they ran into both Tommy and Tude, who's 16-4 and 11-6 respectively. And when your bottom fragger has 11 kills and is performing the way that he is, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Look at this position.
I was going to say, this is nice. Tunisia trying to take the fight straight back towards Argentina.
Yeah.
So don't just let them bully you over and over and over again, but at least try to take it.
Straka at top mid, though.
I'm unaware, but Pote does take that peek towards long, so again, he's going to be getting some presence. That's good for Crumps because now Crumps is able to effectively flank this. So Straka's going to be waiting for a peek, and it's going to come from behind him. Never will he see that coming. Now, of course, the T side going to be looking to execute off of this, so Sheva has to be careful in towards mid as there's 4 players starting to round out near him. He does have 2 players towards B ready to try and trade this out. Tutan makes some space. Now, there's nobody to hit these guys from the back. Argentina just looking to overwhelm in towards the site. Remind, able to stop 2 of them. Looking for the third? No. NBL answers back with a headshot. It's a one-man advantage for the defense. 2 players inside tunnels, though. 3. All of them coming in for the retake.
I was going to say, this is a heavy tunnels presence coming for this retake. There is an opportunity for the bomb plant, and unfortunately NBL is actually watching the wrong direction, and there you go. Tunisia, it only took 15 rounds, but they do manage to get their first one on the board. So we are going to play a little bit longer.
Yeah, excellent. And I mean, you know what? I think it helps out that they're looking to take initiatives. Right? It was that mid-push, that aggressive play that nets them that first frag. And then the moment you take the player over towards long, when Straka goes down, they try to execute in towards mid. Hecticness. I don't know if they expected 3 players to come just barreling out from tunnels like that.
Fun fact for you, not a terrorist round has been won in this match yet.
This is true. Very, very
16 straight CT rounds. So, fun fact for you guys at home.
This could be the one, though.
This could be the one.
A couple Tech 9s, a few P250s.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to mount up for that 3rd round bye. They want to. I mean, they've got plenty of time to execute it, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And it looks like they are going to go heavy towards long. They've got 2 flashes on Johnny Boy, just looking to get a little bit of pressure out in that area. And here you go. Here's the flashes out of the corner. Rote, long spray down, finds 4. Could be going for a little bit more. Johnny Boy doesn't want to give him the ace. He's just going to sit back for a second. He does have a flash. So see where that flash does go, and that's not going to be anywhere close to on the mark. But Rote getting a little greedy, does end up falling in the long run, but the damage has been done.
Yeah, you have to go for the ace. It's just an unspoken rule, right?
Yeah.
From here, of course, Johnny does have the Sec 9. He's looking for a bomb plant, and there's nobody inside of tunnels or B site. If he were to straight make this book, he could potentially find it, but obviously he's not expecting to do so. So he's got a minute to just play around with at this point. Tunisia are going to be finding themselves a second point, and no SMGs, though. That's what scares me, is Argentina only need... Or no, never mind. Argentina only need 1. So it's not even like Economy Hero on the side of the CTs will matter. It's just rebuying every single time.
They got to go fully in every single round. I mean, they did have an SMG. It was on Shiva. He actually swapped out for the M4 that was dropped off of Pote. So upgrading where they can, but that's the biggest thing is they knew that with the bomb plant that they could go for a big force buy into that second round. They could have potentially picked up an AK or 2 and then had some pistols to support that, but they played it smart and they're going for this 3rd round buy, and you can see they've got 3 smokes, they've got 4 flashes or 5 flashes to work with, so a decent utility here for the Argentinian side. And well, you can already see the smoke comes out for Catbox. They're going to push on down, and now Crumps. You thought that flash was going to be on point, but it's Johnny Boy who's been dynamite in this map so far.
Yeah, they're spending some flashbangs over towards CT, but no smoke grenades, so not actually executing in towards it. If they were to go for this B hit, though, they will find only Remind on his lonesome. Now the rotation.
Nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. The one weakened player. And no utility on top of it, right?
Yeah.
We saw, obviously, that the tunnel smokes, the tunnel mollies really being great, but Pote is able to find one more. He's, of course, flanking from the top of mid. He's allowed to get that long A presence. Johnny Boy to trade frag back, not expecting a man to be checking the flank. 3 players still up for the side of Tunisia, but it's 4 versus 3 as Argentina have the favor. And because they have so much time left on the clock, this is why we're seeing this rotation back towards T-spawn. They've put themselves in the man advantage. They still have enough utility to go for an execute off of the 1 smoke double flashbang, and that's exactly what we're going to see. They're going to go towards the long A, smoke the cross, Tor's going to be out of position. They have found themselves essentially an open free bomb site.
Yeah, and the biggest part about this, you know, we talked about the trades in the first half, you know, where I was saying Tunisia was having a real issue with the trades on their terrorist side to spread the CT's defenses thin. You can see this. They've got 2 players that are down in CT spawn and 1 still over in upper dark in the B bomb site. So not a favorable position. Johnny Boy trying to get a little aggressive there towards CT spawn, and he's going to get punished for it, but Tommy's able to trade right back. And this is what we were talking about with those trade kills, how important they are. We're in a 3 versus 2, so they still maintain the man advantage. Having that bomb down is like having an additional player on the field that they have to contend with because now time is not going to be on their side. They do have kits, though, so that's the good thing, but they've exhausted all of their utility. They have no nades to work with. Tommy's in a good position. They've got pit control. They've got 2 players in long A, and they're not ready for this guy at Goose. So it's going to come all down to Shiva, 1 versus 3, and he's not even going to get past the first one. So MBL shuts it down 16-2. And what a turnaround from Argentina, man.
Again, I think this is what we should have expected from them. But now the question I want to raise is this because Argentina have changed between map 1 or map 2? Or is Singapore a black horse in this situation?
That is definitely some questions that we can, dark horse, dark horse. Definitely some questions that we can have answered. So we're going to throw it back over to our analyst desk here as they're going to try to break this one down. But what a turnaround here from Argentina, guys. Go ahead and take it away, Tom.
Ooh. Oh. It's all a little bit awkward, this, isn't it? It's all a little bit awkward. Have we got a shot of those boys? Like, was there everyone even playing there? That was kind of my question. Argentina, Tunisia, 16-2 the final score. It is the Counter-Strike Global Offensive World Championship 2016, playing for a grand prize of $100,000. But Tunisia are probably going to struggle to get that, boys. Wouldn't we all agree?
After that one, I'm going to agree on that because that looked absolutely abysmal. We talked about if we even have a check on it's the same players that qualified, can we check the passports? Because it looked so much different.
Yeah, can we get a passport check back there? Because I don't think they even turned up, really, if I'm honest with you. What went wrong?
Everything.
I think no. Your question should be what went right for them.
Right.
Yeah. And, like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, on their T side, round 9, they asked for a tactical pause. At that point, the entire team has 12 frags in total. Johnny Boy has 12 frags.
On his own.
On his own, yeah. They were doing stuff, normal stuff. It wasn't anything bad. But, I mean, they were going B, 3 guys B. Or not 3 guys B, but the 2 guys that are on B, perfect hold. Yeah. Like, we had Tommy, if I'm not mistaken. There was a split, 2-2 from B and from mid. One guy gets picked mid, if I'm not mistaken, from NBL on top of the boxes in CT.
Yeah.
And Tommy just what every good player should do, pushes towards the smoke, gets 2 easy frags, turns around 180, kills the guy. That's round done. And it looked like that was the entire half for Argentina. Like everything they did was on point. Their reaction was perfect. They're dynamic on their CD side. They switched positions. I don't think Tunisia at one point even knew what was going on. And we had that round from Potey.
Oh.
I mean, take it away. Like,
yeah, that's just.
That round.
Go on, you
basically, that's the round, the one round you don't want to have to happen to you.
Never.
That's the worst thing that can happen in a game. Basically, they got themselves into a position, Tunisia, where they got the bomb down, they got the guy out in the back of long, just ready to shoot the CT when he comes in and defuses, and he just misses shot after shot.
Like, he had an op, and I think Caster said it, Mega Man, or I'm not sure who. Like, you have an op, go into a pit. The plant is especially for you. He can't defuse without you seeing him and without you killing him. He shoulder peeks once, okay. He sees that the guy is defusing. He shoulder peeks again, misses. And at that point, there's only 1 second left. There's another shot, he misses another shot. Yeah. And that's 4 shots that he missed. And you can't miss 4 shots in this type of event, in this kind of a match, when you're going up against the possible team that you're going to be battling for the seed. like I'm lost for words. Like this, there's a lot of notes I have, but I mean,
you need one note. You just get wrecked. On the notepad. That's all you need, because that's all that really happened, to be honest. Like, that was just crazy. But on the positive side, we saw the Argentinian team resetting themselves after the 14-16. We saw Johnny Boy, as we talked about, playing really well. Definitely potential for a great tournament for him, and e-frags galore all over the map. Tommy playing decently as well, and just the Argentinian team really coming together as a unit, to be honest, for this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I've talked about the bad side of Tunisia, and I've talked about the good side of Argentina, and I can continue going with the Argentinian good side, like what they did good, and that was like there was a retake on A 2 times without any casualties. Actually, a perfect retake. They were calm. They were waiting for a push from Pote on a long. NBL was there just waiting for him. He has to push at one point. He has to get control of that long corridor, and he just pushes through the door. NBL kills him, and at that point it's if I'm not mistaken 2 versus 4.
Yeah, I
an
think so.
Easy retake for them. Not a single casualty in that round. I mean, there's so much good stuff coming out of Argentina, and there's so little anything coming out of Tunisia. There was bad round after bad round. They were just so easily readable, and Argentina did. If this was their preparation for Tunisia, spot on.
Absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
There was a point towards the end of the match where we thought Tunisia weren't even going to get any points on the board.
Yeah, definitely.
That could have very easily happened. How do you reset from a loss like this going into the next match? Do they have a manager? Can they sit down with him and go, okay, we need to look at what's happened here and press the reset button?
Yeah, I think after a loss like this, even if it had been 16-0, they just need to sit down and calm down. The most important thing is not dwelling on the result that you just had. It is to move on from it. Because if you keep thinking about, oh, I did this wrong in that round, and if I did that, we could have won, that's not of any use to you. It's of use to you when you get home and start analyzing the demos. It's not of use to you when you sit in the arena and waiting to play the next game. You need to forget what just happened, reset, and then go into the next game with confidence and thinking that you can actually do it. Because if you dwell on the result, you're just going to have the same thing happen again.
There's going to be so many things in the Tunisian side's head right now in terms of what went wrong, how do we change? What's the one lesson that you think, if they take it to the next match, this one thing changed, you may have a chance of performing better?
That's actually a good question, to be honest, because we did not see much that we could say, you need to improve.
There was so few positives here.
But also because Argentina played so well, so we didn't really get to see them. To be honest, what I'm thinking is that they should maybe do a couple of more, maybe easier setups where they just really focus on hitting something that they know, and they're going back to basics and really just working with what they know and what they have, because if they can't take a win against Argentina, can't even take 10 rounds against Argentina with the setup that they have, it's obviously not working. So they need to switch something up, need to switch some strategies. I think they need to go back to the basics and try that out instead.
Dushan, man of the match for you.
I mean, I think I mentioned him. You said Tommy. I said Johnny. It was Johnny.
Yeah, I'm thinking Johnny as well.
It was Johnny. Trust me. They went short. He was there with an op and a 3K. They went towards mid. He got it. They were B. He got it. Like whatever Tunisia did, this guy had an answer for them. And I mean, what a performance by Johnny. And as I previously said, round 9, the entire team of Tunisia has 12 frags. He alone has 12 frags. And
so impressive.
Yeah, so impressive. And that just shows how good he is. And he was invited to one of the teams from Brazil. I think he didn't manage to play because of this tournament. But I mean, looking at him, looking at Tommy, we might see future stars.
Yeah, definitely. And also worth of noting that he's listed as the in-game leader, so kind of like the same role as Fallen, where you have this star AWP player who's also controlling the team. And that just shows not only a very skillful player, but also a very intellectually strong player who knows what the opponent thinks and know how to position himself well enough to take these advantageous duels and really know how to just out-position your opponent. So very impressed with him and his play, and a player that I'm looking forward to watching for the rest of this tournament, because I think we have a real potential for a strong international player here.
Is One thing Argentina can take forward, as you know, as a real strong lesson from this match. Obviously, they struggled against Singapore earlier today on our other stream, but really pulled out the bag for this game. What made it happen?
If I had the information on what they talked about during the break between these two games, I would probably say that. Of course, I can't say 100%, but I'm pretty sure whatever conversation they had, that helped. Because going
for sure.
14-16 to 16-2, that's a world in difference. And I'm pretty sure the voices on the team, Johnny Boy probably being one of them, had the team sat down and like, okay guys, we need to reset, and they just did that.
And I have to note that it's not only the team, 5 players. They have the coach. They have a big support from Martin, from the guy that works for HLTV, the guy that's trying to improve the South American scene, the Argentinian scene in particular. Like they have the backup for them. They have the voice of reason that's not in the team, that's gonna tell them what went wrong and what can they improve. And I think Tunisia has the same thing. And I want to see, sorry, that person help them before the next match and tell them what went wrong and what they need to. I mean, everything went wrong for them today, but so far. But what they can improve and what can they do right, so they don't end up having another game like this, because this game it
was a shocker.
Yeah, trust me, this isn't their real state of skill. Like they can play better.
They're better than this.
Yeah, they're certainly better than this, and I want to see the better team of Tunisia.
Well, probably a good place to leave it with, and I quote, everything went wrong, and they are better than this. If you just tuned in, Argentina taking on Tunisia, 16-2 that finished. And I know what you're thinking, Tom, what's the rest of the day saying? It's a great question. France take on Turkey, literally next, Denmark, Turkey, then Denmark, France. France being last year's winners as well, then Sweden, France, Argentina, Canada, finishing us off later. But stay right there, because France take on Turkey next.